Hey, so today I'm going to talk about multiple streams of income and what that really means. A lot of times I think people think that it just means having a whole bunch of random side gigs like doing DoorDash, having your regular job, maybe doing some pet sitting, maybe you're cutting hair or braiding hair on the side, and just a number of completely unrelated tasks and ways to make money, maybe recycling cans in the midst of everything. And then they're talking about, yeah, I'm doing multiple streams of income. But I wanted to talk about something that I don't think many people think about when they're talking about multiple streams of income and how to create a compounding effect from the multiple streams of income. So I wanted to talk about that today, and specifically how I've used it in my own life to create multiple streams of income. I'm going to show you a different approach, how I've personally used it, and one that basically builds interconnected streams that actually benefit one another. If you're new to the channel, my name's Caffe. I'm a dually licensed commercial real estate broker and licensed general contractor here in the state of Georgia. And I do all things real estate: buy, sell, renovate, develop. I do it all. Today, I want to talk about the multiple streams of income and more specifically how I've used it within my particular business to build my sources of revenue and to create a competitive advantage for me within my business. As I said, I'm in the real estate space. So when I purchased my first property back in 2015, it was a duplex. I was a house hack. Lived in one side, rented out the other side. And so with that, that became my baseline for my business. So my business is leasing residential and commercial real estate. That is my core business. So everything I do from there was built off of that core business of leasing residential and commercial properties. And when I purchased my first property in 2015, and then about 10 months later, I purchased my second property, which was also a duplex, about 5 minutes from my first property. And the agent who helped me, the real estate agent who helped me to purchase that property, he was saying, hey, you're really good at this, because the property was listed originally at 95,000, then they dropped it to 89,000. And then I had went through the property and I was like, you know what? This property, we should make an offer of 65,000. Now, my agent at the time, he did not want to write up this lowball offer that most likely they were not going to accept. And me being an studious investor, what I said was, okay, don't worry about it. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write up a letter of intent detailing the main points of the agreement: closing date, earnest money, purchase price, closing attorney, all of those basic terms that's on the first page of the GAR form. And so I did this, created my own letter of intent, and I sent it to him to send it to the agent. And he was excited because he didn't have to spend maybe an hour or so writing up this offer that he didn't think was going to go through. And for me, I was able to just still make my offer without having the reluctance of the agent. So anyway, the offer was accepted at 65,000, and he was just completely blown away by that. And then after the inspection, we actually got lowered down to 61,000. And then they said, no more. We're not lowering it down anymore. And that was what I had bought my second duplex for in 2016 in Austell, which is now Mableton, Georgia. And anyway, he was the guy who recommended that, hey, you're good at this, you should probably get your real estate license. And for me, it was like, no, I just want to be an investor, and that's what I'm going to stick with. And so I said, I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. Anyway, what convinced me is always money. So he said, we're making $15,000 to $20,000 a month. And I thought, this is an absolute lie. But I asked him to show me his commission checks, and he showed them to me. And lo and behold, he had shown me, I think, roughly 3 months of commission checks, and he was making somewhere between 15 and 20,000 per month at this time. And this is like 2016. So that is what convinced me later on, okay, maybe I should do this. So I bought that property, started renovating the property, and then like closer to the time when I'm like wrapping it up, they had sent me a Groupon for the class. And so I was like, okay, I'm almost done with the renovation and let me try this out. So I got my real estate agent license. That was a additional stream of income on top of my main business of leasing residential and commercial properties. But it fell within line of it because it also helped me in that core business. It was an additional source of revenue that aided me in my core business of leasing residential and commercial properties. It helped me out in that aspect. So I became a real estate agent. And then from there, I was able to see properties myself. I didn't have to wait for an agent. I was able to get commission from purchasing properties for myself, but also purchasing properties for others. And then later on, I became a real estate broker. And then through that, I haven't brought on any agents yet, but I'm really close to doing so. I've had my real estate brokerage for 2 years now, and I haven't brought on an agent because I don't just want to collect people just to say I have agents. I really want to build something special. And so I'm looking for a very particular group of people to start the brokerage with. But anyway, to get off that tangent, that was my first stream of income off of my main business of leasing properties. And just to be clear, the reason this is my main business, I receive rental income and I receive appreciation from the properties increasing in value over time. So that is the core of my business, and it also has certain tax advantages with it. After that, I got my general contractor's license. And the general contractor's license, obviously, if I just told you what my main business is, you can see how having my general contractor's license helps out with that first thing, but also acts as its own source of revenue for me. So what you should see as a pattern is that you have your like main core business, but these other things add a competitive advantage to your main core business. And so each thing that you do acts as a compounding effect and not where it's like totally independent from one another. So then you're not getting that compounding effect that, you know, what you do is just compounding to add more and more competitive advantage to you. So got my GC license, which helped out, acts as an additional source of revenue, and it helps out because obviously if my properties need any repairs or if I want to do a brand new build to rent rental, then I'm able to do it myself and cut down on the GC fee because I am the GC. So therefore it provides a competitive advantage to that whole leasing of residential and commercial properties. And recently, I should say, I had announced in another video that I was running for city council. My opponent, who was the incumbent, they withdrew from the race, and by default, that makes me the presumptive winner because I'm the only other qualified candidate that was running for the seat. So an additional source of revenue, although if you're not familiar, you only make like, it's $14,400 a year for Austell City Council members. It's not really about the money from that perspective, but it is an additional source of revenue. But it adds to what I already do professionally. So my main business is the leasing of residential and commercial properties, and the rental income comes in and the appreciation. Guess what? A good chunk of my properties are within the city of Austell. So by being elected as a member of city council, I can create policies and then work with other developers and investors to increase the attractiveness of our community. So there's the direct financial gain from actually getting a salary for being a council member. But the big thing is the ability to affect policy within your community. So you can help out to bring businesses. So within my business as a commercial real estate broker, a lot of times I'm dealing with local officials, I'm dealing with investors, developers, contractors, I'm dealing with the whole community of real estate investment. And what does an area need for it to grow? You need all of these people. You need to speak to other elected officials, other government agencies. You need to be able to not just speak to them, but you need to understand the language that they have. And overall, even with that, one of the main things you need also is a heart for the area that you're in. And so for me, it's not just the ability to be a city council member and to make money, although we all need a source of revenue, but it's also increasing the quality of life for me and my neighbors and the people who live in Ward 1 with me, and the city of Austell as a whole. Once again, this is something that strengthens my main core business, because the more attractive Austell is, the more secure my investment is within the city. And of course, the quality of life that I have in the city increases as long as we make good policy decisions. Yeah, I'll be the Ward 1 council member for the city of Austell. And that, once again, is an additional stream of income, but it ties in with my other businesses. And I was getting ready to think that was the last thing. That was how I built up my different streams of income. But then as I'm putting together this video, I'm thinking about, I'm like, oh crap, YouTube. I've added YouTube as a potential stream of income. I'm not monetized at this point in time, but these videos act as a constant marketing for what I do professionally as a duly licensed commercial real estate broker and a licensed general contractor. It helps me to generate income through people potentially seeing a video of mine and calling to use my services with Caffe Realty or Code Black Construction, or it could be even somebody who rents a property from me based off of a video. So there's that, but then there's also the potential to monetize this channel and earn revenue from the channel itself. All of these things compound and each thing helps out the other. I'll be doing videos where I'm talking about the construction side of things. I'll be doing videos where I'm talking about the real estate brokerage side of things. I'll be talking about videos with regards to my investing space and development that I've been working on for years now. And hopefully we'll be able to see that, be able to give you more information about that in the coming year. But all of these things compound and help each other out. And so that's how I was able to build up multiple streams of income, and each thing is interrelated and helps out the other. And that's what you want to aim for. You want to aim for things that are interrelated and can help the other out. So I also want to talk about how this could look in other types of industries that people are a part of. So I created a little list here of different ways how you could apply this same approach of multiple streams of income to different industries. And this by no means is an exhaustive list, but it provides some sort of idea of how you can apply it depending on what you're doing. Let's start with the hair care and beauty industry. So if you're a barber or a beautician, your main business is either cutting hair or styling hair. So that's the main source of income. But you could also add massage therapy or wellness services to your business as an additional source of income. This can be like offering scalp massages, neck massages, or just general wellness treatments at that same location. So that could be one vertical. A second vertical can be to introduce your own line of wellness or beauty products. This could be facial products. I guess you could also, with the first vertical, you could add facial services, and then there's skincare products that you could offer as an additional service. But you can also offer skincare creams, facial products, or even hair care lines that you distribute directly to customers, or it could be business to business for other barbers and beauticians to offer. A vertical 3 can be, I went ahead of myself and added the become a supplier to other barbers or beauticians of these products. And so by becoming a manufacturer of a product that other barbers and beauticians use, then you're creating an additional source of income. And of course, it ties back into what you do as a beautician or a barber. And then this applies to all of the examples that I'm going to give. The fourth vertical is investing that income into something like real estate or the stock market, which is an appreciating asset that will generate income even while you're not working, because the main goal that you're trying to do is get from a place where you're physically exchanging your labor for money to a point where consistently, whether you're physically working or not, you're earning some sort of income. And real estate and the stock market is probably the best investment outside of the equity that can be built in your business. So industry 2, healthcare. So if you're a nurse or a CNA, your main line of business is what you do as a nurse or a CNA. So outside of that, you could create a unique line of scrubs or healthcare apparel, basically just providing your own unique twist to that industry because it's absolutely needed where people need the scrubs. Adding as additional source of income could be great for what you do. Also, and I thought of this simply because I'm a licensed general contractor, and it's something that I've done, although I'm not in the healthcare field, but it's something I've done as a contractor, is basically you can offer home modification consulting for people who want to age in place. Now, if you're a CNA or in the healthcare space, you may understand aging in place already, but if you're not familiar with it, it's the idea that people want to stay in their homes for longer. And as you get older, certain things may need to be put in place that weren't there when you were younger. For example, grab bars in your shower. Typically, when you're younger, you don't need any grab bars or anything to stabilize yourself. But when you get older, that is something that becomes a concern. Even sitting down on a toilet, maybe having a grab bar to grab onto there. So that could be consultations for grab bars. Where do they need to be installed? Maybe anti-slip mats, things of that nature. In one case, I widened the doorway of a first floor bathroom so then they could move a wheelchair in and out of it. And then I converted a living room or a den area into a bedroom, just put a door in place where it was just an open area and 2 pillars. I put a French door in place and closed in the wall. It could be things like that. So that's offer home modification consulting for people aging in place. Develop a line of aging related products and services. So that can be things like mobility devices, walkers, bedpans, things of that nature. You can add this as an additional vertical for what you do. And so it's something that within your daily, maybe as the nurse, you're also selling to the hospital that you work at. These are things that can strengthen with the core of what you do, but each thing that you do strengthens the other thing. And again, with the fourth vertical is always to take that and invest it into long-term assets like real estate and stocks. And my last example is for people who are in entertainment space. So if you're a rapper or artist, that could be your main source of income, but you can also do things like studio engineering for other artists. You can earn money by helping produce and mix for others. Vertical number 2, it ties into vertical number 4 that I've been talking about, which is owning real estate. You can own or rent out event space for people. This can be for album launches, music videos, or community events. And that can create income both from just the rental income that you can receive from it. But of course, as I said previously, the appreciation in the value of the asset over time can also act as a source of income and be very, very good from a tax perspective. Number 3, the vertical number 3 is start a lifestyle apparel line that complements the brand. You saw this a lot in the early 2000s where we had Baby Fat, Fat Farm, Sean John, Apple Bottom Jeans, etc. All of these rappers and artists had their own clothing lines. That was them trying to create multiple streams of income. A lot of times today you see them typically hawking some sort of vice. You'll see them selling gambling. It'll be sports gambling. You'll see people, or liquor, or it'll be some sort of vice. If you see like entertainers, particularly rappers and sports people there, that's just them looking for a way to create an additional source of income, although it's a vice. So I'm like, that it's just really not acceptable. But it is what it is. And of course, the last vertical that I've always been talking about, number 4, is to always invest in real estate or stock market, something that's long term, can potentially provide rental income or dividends. And one of the things I want to say about, particularly with investing in real estate, is very tax advantaged. There's a lot of tax benefits by investing in real estate. And so it can offset that active income that you receive from activities such, in my case, what I do as a real estate broker or what I do as a licensed general contractor. That income can be offset by losses that I receive from rental properties. There's lots of repairs that need to be done in some of the older properties that I've purchased and have had deferred maintenance. Like a HVAC unit goes out, needs to be replaced, or a roof needs to be replaced and whatnot, that can reduce the amount of taxable income from my more active businesses. So it compounds and it works together, and that's what you want your multiple streams of income to do. You don't want it to just be completely unrelated, because then you have to work almost 2, 3, 4, 5 times as hard to make any one thing successful, because none of these things are working together. So that's how it's done. And that's how it can work in other fields. The key is creating streams of income that can feed into each other. If you found this valuable, please like, comment, subscribe, and share it with other people. Thanks for watching. I hope this gives you some ideas on how you can build your own interconnected income and multiple streams of income, and do it in a smart way rather than just aiming for these multiple random side gigs. So find something you love and really learn how you can build on it and create additional sources of revenue from it, because what you're trying to do is you're trying to create a competitive advantage for the other things that you do. You want it all to work together. You want your efforts to be magnified by each thing that you do. So with that, as I said, I'm Derek Caffe. Give me a call if you need any real estate brokerage services, you need construction services, or you need help with any consulting with anything real estate related. I'm here. So until the next video.